Woof. A bad dog here with a bad dog bites. One of the questions we get often asked a lot, and we see posted all over the place, is eBay charges so much money. Well, how much does eBay really charge you? That's what we wanted to take you through today. So we've done a short video to explain to you the fees that come along with eBay. And it's pretty simple. The only thing that's going to look a little different for some of you is that we are actually based in Canada, but we sell on the US platform. So you'll see an extra little charge that we pay that people in the US don't. So, but overall, you can get a good idea on what eBay pays. And people say it costs 20, 30, 40%. It doesn't unless you add a bunch of stuff in, but generally, it should cost you somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 17%. I'm going to show you exactly how it does that. So how do you figure out where you have to go? First of all, you're going to go to eBay. You can go, this is the eBay Canada page for understanding selling fees. Just go into Seller Center or type into Google and say eBay selling fees. There's one of them page for Canada and for the US. So in both cases, they're pretty well the same. They're trying to make everything as much the same as they can. So here's the idea. You pay an insertion fee, which is you get 250 items free a month for most categories. There are some categories that don't apply. And then 35 cents for everything on top of that. Then you pay a final value fee. And the final value fee is, in most categories, 13.25% and plus 30 cents. Now that's actually changing to 40 cents very shortly. But that's basically what you have to pay. So if you sell something, 13% is not 20 some odd percent. When are you charged your fees? Well, you're charged fees on the insertion, if there is a fee, and the final value. Now, here's where it can get a lot more expensive. If you promote your listings or you do optional upgrades, it can go up a lot. You can add 10, 15% to your fees, but you don't have to do that. But here's how you do. You calculate your fees. Really simple. You actually can go in and look and see. Let's make this a little bit bigger for everybody. You get 250. Let's see if I can get this to be a little bit better on the page for you there. You get 250 free listings in most categories, and it's 35 cents for each extra one. Here's how they break it down. You can see on this page, most categories, 13.25%. If you sell something that's really expensive, you save a lot more money. Sneakers, it's 8% though. Guitars, it's 6%, but trading cards, 13%. Books, magazines, 14.95%. So it's higher up for movies and TV and music and books. It's higher up for jewelry as well. So, but watches, but mostly women's handbags, 15%. Mostly it's 13.25%. Like, it's that simple. So that's what you can click on that and actually like it showed you those categories. When you go to list something, it will also tell you if the category is one of the free ones that you have, or if you actually have to pay an additional amount because it's not included in your free listings per month. Now, some people want to know when I should get a store. Well, if you look in our listings, our YouTube channel, you'll actually see, if I can put it up here, I put a link that actually shows you how much, like at what time you should really be thinking about getting a store. But for now, we're just talking about the fees as a whole. So are you charged your fees? It's really interesting. But as I said, now how do you calculate your fees? Well, again, you're going to look at that and see 13%. Now, eBay charges a fee on not only the sale price, they charge the fee on the shipping price, and they charge the fee on taxes. Now, we also have a video on that. The reason they do that, and I don't have a problem with it, is twofold. One, they used to have a bunch of unscrupulous dealers who would put stuff for 1 cent and then charge $100 for shipping, and therefore eBay wouldn't make any money. So they had to cancel that. That's like 15 plus years ago they did that. So that's what they've been doing all along. But they also collect and remit taxes by state, province, federal, country, anything along those lines on your behalf as a seller. So I'm really well prepared to pay my fee for them to calculate and remit those taxes in every single area that they do that, versus me having to have tax forms and fill it all out everywhere else. So look at it that way, as it's a business expense to take care of all the taxes that need to be paid out. Now, I thought I'd show you actually a couple of things to show you how this actually works out, just so you can see exactly what it does cost. So here I'm going to bring a page up, which is something that we recently just sold. This is a $40 item. So here's a $40 item that we sold, Haunted Mansion set, $39.96. So you can see how much it was. We charged $5 shipping. This particular person lived in an area where sales tax was charged for them. Some states don't. Some provinces may or may not. That could change up and down depending on where it goes. And so they were charged the $33.35. So the total order is $48.31. As you can see, eBay collected that sales tax. The transaction fees are $6.63, including all the different things that I talked about, taxes. If you want to see more details on it, you can click on that individual item and you can get the details. So let's click on that item and see. Here's the details. The $48.31, there's how it was built up. Now, how are they charging the fees? Here it explains everything. $48.31, $12.35. Again, they're charging it based on shipping, item, and the sales tax. So they're charging that. Now, I happen to be a top-rated seller, so I'm lucky I get a 10% discount. You're a top-rated seller if you ship on time, if you don't have defects, and all that sort of stuff. So in this case, I got to save myself 10% off my fee. I get an international fee charge because I happen to be based in Canada. In the US, you wouldn't have this charge, so you wouldn't have to worry about that 19 cents. And then the total becomes $5.37, which is $5.97 less 60 plus the 19 cents. So my total fees are $5.56. They also charge you for each transaction a final value fee of 30 cents. It's just a way for them to make more money. That's going up to 40 cents for all items over $10 as of March. So here's my total fee, $5.86. They also, because of where I am, collect GST. It's another tax. So the total fees they're taking off of me are $6.63. Now, $6.63 off of the thing I sold for $39.96. So I'm going to show you, I'm talking about the fee on this. $6.63 of $39 is 16%, 16.6%. Even if I didn't get that 60 cents, it would be about 17.5%. So it's not 20%, not 25%. It's about 17%, 16 to 17%. I'm going to show you another example on something that was even more expensive so you can see how that worked. So here's another thing that was more expensive. This was a $125 item, had $15 in shipping. The taxes for this person were $9. So again, $16.65. I was lucky. I saved myself $1.85 because of my top raters, but let's pretend I didn't save that. So that would end up being the $18.50 plus 60 cents international fee, which is 4% on the total sale, $149, $17.25. So it actually makes it closer to, if I didn't save that extra $1.85, we're closer to $19 plus the 30 cents, becoming 40 cents. So my total fees are around $20, right? Now, $20 on $125 is 17%. Again, it's not 25%. Now, a lot of people, like, that's what the reason I did this is that people claim that it's the most expensive thing in the world. It's not. If you go to Poshmark charges you 20%. So right off the bat, Poshmark is more expensive than eBay. And people say that eBay is the most expensive thing in the world. Other places charge you different amounts. We'll be building different videos on how much does it cost to sell on Etsy. We have one that's already built on how much does it cost to sell on Whatnot. Now, all of these places have fees, not only commissions, but usually transaction fees, sometimes exchange fees, depending on where you're selling from. But it's really to give you a big idea that the fee for selling on eBay should be thought of in your mind as about 17 to 18% of what it actually sells for. So I want you to think about that when you're listing something. If you list something for 10 bucks, think, well, $1.80 of that's going to end up going in fees, right? Now, the other thing to think about, which is my little extra tip, is remember your charge fees on your shipping on eBay and on the taxes. If you use calculated shipping, you will actually never be able to cover that fee. If you use flat rate shipping, you can cover that fee. You can bury it within the flat rate that you charge. So that's why we always do everything with flat rate. Again, take a look at the Two Dogs Digs channel and you'll see a video explaining how to do flat rate shipping. So hopefully this has given you a better idea on what it costs to actually sell on eBay. Take a look at our other Bad Dog Bites. It'll be more tips for your reselling journey. Thanks so much. Give us a thumbs up. Hope you subscribe, and we'll talk to you again soon. Woof.